It is 10:35 in the morning. We've all been at work for at least an hour and a half, if not longer. It is time to have a coffee break with me, your friendly neighborhood Shakespeare. We're going to have a wonderful good time because that's what we do here. Welcome to Shakespeare's Coffee Break. I'm your friendly neighborhood Shakespeare, and I am on my coffee break. Let's start things off with a nice noisy slurp right now. That's just good internet audio. I don't care who you are. As you might have noticed from the banner I had up at the very top of the show today, we have performers from the Digital Ren Faire's Burns Night Supper, which is going to be this Saturday over with the Digital Ren Faire. And that is a ticketed event. So I do hope that all of you come and support the live performers who are going to be there, including Lady Prudence, the court composer, Haggis Rampant, the Langers Ball, me, and also Digital Ren Faire for providing a venue for us to perform and gather, collated to collaborate together. It's going to be a wonderful good time, and I do hope you join us. So, people shouting out their good mornings on the YouTubes and the Facebooks. Kathy saying, good morning, Kathy. And Joe DeFilippo saying, as usual, he has to go into class, but please have one of the most wonderful streams possible. Do I go live tomorrow? Yes, I do, Joe. Same time. I do hope you join me then. Also, watch this on the playback. And as always, thank you to the Jackdaws for that theme song. Shakespeare approves of this theme song. But right now, we have two of our performers who are going to be joining us from this Saturday night for the Digital Ren Faire's Burns Night Supper, and I hope you are there too. They are two of my favorite people in the world. I think of them genuinely as a second family, and they are Gillian and Steve Brownlee of Haggis Rampant.
Hello.
That is the calmest I've ever seen Steve sit there. He's just like, now that the camera's on me, I'm going to be very refined and a normal
Well,
person.
it's an old Ren Faire habit. You know, when somebody brings out a moving camera, you just stop.
Yeah. Or in my case, you do something like...
Right.
Excellent. Well, first things first, I haven't talked to you since the new year began, so how are you doing?
We're great, honestly. You know, we've been doing our Monday night live streams, and I'm in school, so that's fun.
That's right, you're a PhD candidate.
I am. Yeah, I'm getting a doctorate in archiving, so that's been most of my life. Having to be doing this and having a little bit of a break, you know?
So does that, in all seriousness, but also because I genuinely want to know, but also a little bit of taking the mickey out of you, does that mean you have to memorize the Dewey Decimal System?
It does not, but I did work in a library for about a year, so there was a bit of time where I could tell you pretty much where anything like by topic would be. Like I knew that American history was somewhere in the 900s, that kind of thing. Shakespeare is specifically 844. Shakespeare has his own code.
Well, of course I do. Why not?
Yeah.
Now, because you're going to be a doctor of archiving and everything. Thus, may I say, you would work in a museum, maybe?
That's the goal. Yes.
Would you wear a hat and say, it belongs in a museum?
Yes, and that's more appropriate than you know, because my master's is actually in paleontology, so I did a lot of field excavations. So yeah, just call me Indiana.
Louisiana Brownlee at your service.
I like it.
Named the dog Louisiana. All right. And so, oh goodness, I just kicked the power out. I just...
Shakespeare, are you okay?
And power is restored. See, that was new for you. Regular viewers of the show have seen me do it at least a half a dozen times. Yeah, it's sad. It's sad. So, Brownlees, you, as Haggis Rampant, you are joining me as members of the Digital Ren Faire's Burns Night Supper, which we're going to have a wonderful good time. As I was saying earlier, we're going to have such wonderful performers let's see, we have Lady Prudence, the court composer. She's going to be doing, among other things, Auld Lang Syne. We have the Langers Ball, who are always a rockin' good time. We have you, we have me, and I think I'm the one that is like one of these things is not like the other, because one, I don't play any musical instruments, but then two, I am professionally English, so.
True, but
Yes.
I did read that William Shakespeare, that you were a bit of an influence on Robert Burns, so I think that you're appropriate.
I feel had we lived in the same time period, he and I would have been really good drinking buddies.
Oh, absolutely.
We'd be like, oh, look at this wanker over here. I mean, like, let's just. I mean, he would have used far more colorful language than that, but you know, it's 10:35 in the morning here on the East Coast. It's even earlier for you, so I'm not going to be quite as colorful with my language this morning.
Aw.
Yeah. But so what? You two are old hats at working Burns dinners. What could people expect to see?
Want to take this?
Sure. Well, you can expect to see people drinking whiskey. You can expect, well, if it was in a live in-person event, everyone would be dressed in their finest finery. The whole thing is pretty much done tongue-in-cheek. Burns was a very common man. He wrote in the common vernacular of the time. It's like writing in Cajun French as opposed to Parisian French. You know, you write in the common man's language with the accents. You know, Italian versus Latin, you know, legalese versus what we use in English. So, you know, it was all done tongue-in-cheek. Burns' poetry was all that way, too. He wrote about a louse, a woman's hat.
It's one of my favorite poems that he did, actually.
He was in church, and the louse came crawling out on the hat, and it just stirred him to write a whole poem about a louse.
I mean, I find that very inspiring, don't you?
Yeah. You know, same thing with a mouse. You know, he was plowing a field and disturbed a mouse's home, and so he wrote an ode to a mouse.
So you can definitely expect poetry at these kinds of things. You can expect whiskey, like he said. You can expect music. There's always plenty of music. And you can see in the picture that you have up right now, there's, you know, everybody has instruments except for Shakespeare. Oftentimes there's dancing. It's just a general good time. There's haggis.
Haggis
It's one of my favorite parts.
We'll lead the haggis in, and of course that's a little more difficult virtually, but we do march around the house and you know, play in the.
That was my suggestion.
Yeah,
that was my suggestion. Well, when it was when Michael and I, so this all started. Michael Sturm of Langers Ball, he approached me and said, "Hey, would you want to do a burn supper?" I go, "I've always wanted to do a burn supper. How would we do this?" He goes, "All right, here's a template, and I've done a few." Okay, great. He says, "We can maybe get haggis." He goes, "Do you know any good pipe bands?" I go, "Yeah, Haggis Rampant." Fantastic. He goes, "Maybe we can get them to pipe in the haggis." I go, "Oh, all right. How does that work?" And he's telling me, I go, "Huh. Well." He goes, "Yeah, how would that work? Would it just be Steve or Jillian just standing there stoically?" I go, "No, let's have them parade around the house. They are very silly people." So
no.
We resemble that remark.
And so I believe how that is going to work is it's going to be you all just parading about your house, and then him very ceremoniously walking through his house carrying the haggis. I believe that is how it's going to look.
Yep, we had my mom follow us around the house with a camera as we piped. We got all dressed up. I was wearing heels. I don't think you can see them in the video, but I was wearing them.
See, you knew you were wearing them, and that's the important thing.
You know, Burns nights for me have always been an excuse to just get really dressed up. Whenever I'd go to the ones out in Lubbock, when I lived there for like 4 years, people were showing up like from anywhere from blue jeans to like nice church clothes. And then in I come in a cocktail dress because I wanted to wear it. And so I was always like way overdressed, but it was a lot of fun anyway.
Well, that's what you're supposed to do at a burn supper. You're supposed to be way overdressed. It's just how it's supposed to be done.
I guess nobody told the Texans.
Well, Texans are a different breed. They are their own country for a reason.
Just, I mean, not going into any of the weird political things that always surround it, but it is one of those things of I've known many people from Texas, and whenever they talk about wanting to be their own place, it's I've always heard other people from any other state always agreeing with them, like, yeah, we want to be our own country. It's just like, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, have fun with that.
Yeah, just like, yeah, just go ahead, man. No matter your political views or where it's like you're from anywhere but Texas, you're like, yeah, you guys are weird. Just do you. You do you, buddy.
Have fun.
Every once in a while, I just feel like I need to go give Texas a hug and be like, hey, buddy, you doing okay? The state. Just be like, hey.
Yeah. It'd be quite a feat to hug a state though.
No, Texas is a delight. And also, they've got NASA. So that makes me happy.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried to drive across Texas?
Yeah. It took me 2 days, 3 days.
It's
Something
2
like
full
that.
days. It's 873 miles if you drive down I-10.
Oh, my God.
That's a lot of miles.
Yeah, we went. I did it in 2008 as part of a children's theater tour, and we came into Texas via Louisiana. So I think we started around the Houston, Galveston area, and we were there for several days in that area, and then our next spot was El Paso.
Yeah.
And then
The other side.
yeah, and that took us at least a day and a half to get to.
Yeah.
And it was on that part of the journey I thought I was going to die. Because it was just it went from towns and little rolling hills and everything, and then there's plains, and then there was desert, and then there was more desert, and then there was a lot of desert. And I'm like,
sometimes with windmills blinking ominously in the dark.
I'm like, this is how I died. This is what happened. We were supposed to be at this. I'm going to talk trash about them. This company no longer exists. They put us up in a series. It's fine. Come at me, company that went bankrupt.
You tell us, Shakespeare.
Yeah, I will. I'm very brave when I have no fear of you. This company was supposed to put us up in hotels, and sometimes they were nice. Like in the Louisiana, we stayed in a really nice, pretty nice Ramada in Metairie. So that was good. One morning, it was really neat. We were forbidden to go into the pool at the hotel because there was an alligator in it. So.
I'm not surprised.
Louisiana.
Yeah.
We make jokes all the time about, no, we don't ride alligators to school, that kind of thing. But like, they really are alligators everywhere.
It was fun though, because the hotel staff had no idea how it got in, because it was a genuinely closed off courtyard. They're like, and this was a big alligator. Like, I got pictures of it. It was 5-6 feet long, and I'm just like, well, how do you get in? They're like, we don't know.
They can climb 6-foot fences, hurricane fences, chain link fences. They can climb them.
Oh,
so yeah,
well, that's frightening. Oh, okay.
Fence won't do you any good.
It's
I have seen car accidents caused by alligators crossing I-10.
Huh.
They're big. They're this big.
Yeah.
You hit that doing 70 miles an hour, they are solid as rock.
It's like the Louisiana version of the moose, like in Canada. Everybody always says, if you hit a moose, the moose wins.
If you hit an alligator, the alligator wins.
Martin Fitzpatrick. Hey, Martin.
Hey, Martin.
He tunes in regularly to our Monday night stream. He lives in Ireland.
Oh my goodness! Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, Martin! Sunday morning, your time. You're going to want to join Jillian and Steve and I, because we're not going to be talking about alligator. Well, we might. I have no idea.
It's entirely possible.
We're going to be doing the poetry of Robert Burns, and we're going to be drinking heavily. So you got to join us.
Yes.
Early Sunday morning for you. Don't go to church. Just join us for a Burns night supper. That's what we're going to do. All right. Martin losing your new and improved plans.
What time are we starting?
It's an 8 p.m. show. So 7 p.m. for you.
So
Perfect.
7 for us.
Yeah.
So that puts it at 1 o'clock in the morning for Martin. But it is a Saturday night Sunday morning. So.
Yeah. Don't worry about going to church Sunday morning, Martin. This is your church. We are your church, Martin.
Yes.
We are your new and improved Baby Yoda. All right. So
Oh, good Lord.
that's
One of these days I'm going to have to watch that show.
Yeah, but yeah, it took us several days to drive across Texas. We were going to stay in this motel. We pulled over, and to the motel, and it looked like people get murdered there. So we just kept driving, and we're like, you know what? We will all just sleep in the van tonight, and because, and we ended up not stopping. We started shift sleeping. So I would drive for a bit, and then Will would drive for a bit, and Andy, and so on. We just like, no, we're just gonna drive. Texas will not murder us, and it didn't.
And you know, the funny thing is once you get out to that side, the speed limit is 80 miles an hour, which means people are driving 90 to 100, and it still takes a day and a half to get across that state.
We were dragging a horse trailer filled with the sets and props and everything for the show we were doing. So we weren't really able to, I think, do anything really above 65, honestly. Right. So yeah, so it's just like no, and when we would go just in the van in Texas, without like just going out to dinner or something, people would honk at us if we were going a little too slow for their taste. But when we were pulling the trailer, people were quite courteous, like, no, we get it. You don't want to flip and die. So,
you don't want to hurt your horses. That's important in Texas.
Oh, absolutely. We actually graffitied our own trailer in order to make it look like there were horses in it. One of the performers was actually quite skilled with a paintbrush and drew on some horse heads looking like they were in stalls.
Amazing.
We got in trouble for that with the company. So yeah.
Oh no. Yeah, well.
So Martin would like to know real quick, Haggis Rampant, is this tea we are all drinking?
Yes, so this is Shakespeare's coffee break, and since neither of us are coffee drinkers, I made a lovely vanilla rooibos tea in my fancy mushroom cup that I bought.
Which I am also drinking, but I'm drinking it in my iron brew cup.
Yeah, speaking of Scottish things, have you ever had iron brew?
I have not had iron brew, no. I was looking forward to having it this year that was, but then the plague happened and I wasn't able to go to Scotland. So hoping to do it this late June or early July.
Excellent. It's good stuff. It's orange.
It's orange.
It's the color. It's the color of this mug.
That's their color.
It's that. Yeah. So
I am cautiously optimistic about it.
Well, every other country in the world, Coca-Cola is the primary drink. That is the favorite soft drink, except for Scotland,
where it's iron brew.
So
good for them, honestly. Mm-hmm. Good for them. I'm looking forward to trying it. I'm not a big soda drinker anymore. I haven't been for 12, 13 years now at this point. I will have, like, the only time I really do it is if I have like a fancy, air quotes around that, soda. So just like one made without the high fructose corn syrup there isn't so much of it.
Yeah.
Which you can get if you get the Irish or the Mexican Coca-Cola, by the way, in bottles. But also, if we're watching it, if we go to the movies, if we go to the cinema, I'll get a cherry Coke. But it has to be a fountain cherry. It has to be a fountain cherry Coke. It can't be just in a can or a bottle. It has to be fountain cherry Coke. But
when I was a kid, I was always obsessed with the cherry Coke. Like whenever we went to Dairy Queen, that's always what I wanted.
Yeah, it's grand. It's grand. And someone, you ever had that? We are so off topic, but just that's my show. Have you ever had the vanilla cherry Coke?
Yes, it's so good.
You think so?
I thought so. I like vanilla. Well, maybe it was vanilla cherry Dr. Pepper that I'm thinking about. I had vanilla and cherry in some kind of soft drink, and I really liked it, but I don't know.
I haven't had it. To me, it's like putting fruit in my beer or peanut butter in my beer.
Both of which are delicious.
All right.
I'm a purist.
All right, all right. All right. Down in Disney World, because this is the extent of my world traveling, go Epcot. So going around the world at Epcot. They have in the Germany pavilion, they have this orange citrus pilsner, and it is amazing. It tastes so light on your tongue. It is not heavy in any way, shape, or form. And as Dave Chappelle himself has said, it'll get you drunk.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good. So let's get back into Burns Night. So
Yes.
you have the piping in of the haggis. You have the haggis itself. You have whiskey and poetry. But let's expound upon that. Burns himself was the national poet of Scotland, much as Shakespeare is the poet of England. So what types of poems and whatnot happen during this?
So the main one that happens is the address to the haggis, which Michael will be doing this time. And, the haggis gets marched in, and before people eat it, somebody will actually recite this poem to the haggis. It's very dramatic. It's usually a lot of fun. It's essentially, haggis is great. Look how beautiful it is. It's not like French food. French food sucks. But we have haggis, and people that eat haggis are better, unlike French people who are wimpy and terrible in a battle. It's like this weird, it's a weird balance between saying how great haggis is and how terrible French people are. I'm not sure why.
Which is really interesting considering the old alliance.
Right, like the Scots and the French were actually friends, but why not talk about how bad they are, I guess.
Well, French fruit.
Keep your enemies close and kick your friends in the jimmies. I mean, that's just all.
Yeah, there you go. So that usually
and it sounds very Scottish itself. So.
Yes. Other than that, as far as I know, it's pretty much whatever Burns poem people want to recite. There is usually a toast, which you and I are doing the toast. Well, so a man will get up and do a toast to the lassies, which is usually very tongue-in-cheek, but with a lot of compliments kind of strewn in there. And then a woman will get up and do a response to the laddies, which is also, just kind of poking fun, but then saying, no, but we really do love you guys. Usually they're like anywhere from like a couple minutes long, like 5 minutes long. Although I did see one where the guy talked for 30 minutes.
Yes, he did.
30 minutes. About how women belong in the kitchen, among other things. Nobody liked that. It was actually really funny. There was a guy at our table, because of course it ends in a toast. And there was a guy at our table that every time this dude stopped for breath, he'd like go to get up and toast, and he's like, wait, no, he's still going. Now, nope, still going. Okay. And so it was just this really awkward thing that nobody had fun with.
I saw one time where the guy was doing the toast to the lassies, and he expected everyone to stand up, but when he did what he did, which is he first stood on a chair. Now he's dressed in a kilt, right? Stood on a chair and then put his foot on the table, and there were women sitting all around the table. And Pam was one of them, and she was like, trying to do this to not see what was under the kilt.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so lots of shenanigans happen at these things. So yeah, you have the toast, somebody, and the toast usually involves some kind of Burns poetry. Like I know in mine, I quoted, "My love was like a red, red rose," which is one of his more famous poems. And then there's an immortal memory where somebody gets up and talks about Burns in general. There's usually the ones in Texas were great because we actually had historians who worked at the university like come in and give this whole like speech about Robert Burns and how important he was. Somebody brought a PowerPoint presentation one year. That was cool. Yeah.
Okay. That's overkill, but
it was really entertaining though. One of the more entertaining ones I've seen because sometimes those can get boring, but
they often get boring.
Yeah, but I'm not the people that are involved in this Burns supper, I do not expect it to be dull because all of these people are performers themselves.
Right.
And so they're going to know how to keep an audience engaged. And that's what I'm really excited about this one, actually, is that we don't have just a bunch of randos. We have actual talented people who are performers for a living. And so it should be really cool. But yeah, other than that, music, dancing, poetry, grand old party. It's a great time.
Well, it's going to be absolutely a delight, and I'm so very proud to be a part of it. I am kind of going to be serving as the MC for a little bit of it. I'm also doing some Burns poetry myself. I'm going to be doing a Scotch drink and trying my best Scots pronunciation as well. And
it's hard.
Oh, it is. Your mum, who does a really good Scots accent with it, very good Scots pronunciation. I think she will be in turns impressed and also cringing.
Yeah, probably. She actually recited the address of the haggis when we were in Scotland. There was a festival that we went to, and this festival had a Robert Burns that they had hired, and like that was his whole job, was just walk around and be Robert Burns. And my mom recited the address to him, and you could see his face. He was like, "Oh Jesus Christ, this American is coming up trying to recite poetry to me." And when she started, he was like, "Oh, okay, you know what's up." And it was really cool.
He corrected one word.
One word, yeah. That was all he had to say, was one word that she had said.
That's fantastic. Right? Martin Fitzpatrick from Ireland is saying that he's been told that haggis, that the world champion haggis maker is from Belfast. So Northern Ireland has apparently the best haggis.
We've had so many conversations with Martin on our Music Mondays about like all the really great Scottish things that are actually like in Ireland now. Like some of the best bagpipe bands are from Ireland, and apparently the best haggis. Like it's funny.
We're gonna have to go to Northern Ireland and visit Martin and let him take us to those places that have the good haggis.
I know, right?
Yeah.
We should just do a haggis tour of Scotland and Ireland. Just have a haggis tour. Yes,
I like that.
Because haggis is delicious.
You know what? I think we should. Coming up later this summer, as I already said, Paolo Garbanzo, the crazy person with the juggling and the flames. He and I are going to Scotland and England to do a Dungeons and Dragons and Castle tour in late June and July, where we're going to go to different castles and then play Dungeons and Dragons there.
Sounds so much fun.
As one does. But he does all sorts of other fun, silly tours like that with different themes, with different Renaissance Festival performers. So it makes perfect sense that Haggis Rampant should go and do a Haggis tour of Scotland and Northern Ireland. I think you should.
That's a great idea.
How do we pay for it?
Well, you pay for it.
How do you pay for it? I'll tell you how you pay for it. Easy as pie is how you pay for it. It's a slice of haggis. It's a piece of cake. No, we'll talk offline about that. But I just want to thank once again Haggis Rampant, Gillian, Steve Brownlee for being here this morning. Make sure you go follow them on Facebook.com/Haggis Rampant, and that'll connect you to all their other stuff. They and I are all a part of the goodness gracious, can I get it to work? No. Oh, yes, there we go. The Burns Night Supper being put on by Digital Ren Faire this Saturday night, January 23rd, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. You can use code Professionally English to save $3 off your ticket price. But Gillian and Steve would also probably want you to use code Haggis to save $3 so they get the credit instead.
Easier to spell.
But bugger off, it's my show.
That's fair.
And you can RSVP to that Burns Night supper by going to that link right there. fb.me/e/VHLJUPJI. It's so easy. Just do that. It's also in the comments. I threw it in there. So it's a good time. So coming up tomorrow on all of the things. Let's see here. Let me get back to that. Goodness gracious. So yes, coming up tomorrow on in this time slot, we have Writing Sonnets with Shakespeare. And that is when I, your friendly neighborhood Shakespeare, and you, the audience, we collaborate on writing a sonnet together. We come up with a theme and we write 14 lines about it. Last week was an ode to coffee. Maybe this week will be an ode to haggis. I don't know. I never know until we actually get going. So join me for that. It's going to be a really fun and good time. Of course, on Friday morning, in this time slot, we have the watch party for Shakespeare Reviews. It's the movie review show I do with Andrew McKee, the Irish bard from Life's Affair. So 10:35 in the morning, just on my Facebook channel, we have the watch party. That is a good time. This week, I believe it's going to be Love's Labour's Lost. Friday afternoon at 5:35 Eastern, we have Shakespeare's Shameless Self-Promotion Happy Hour, where we drink, we give toasts, I ask silly questions to serious people, or serious questions to silly people. Take your pick. And this Friday, our guests are Daniel Greenwolf, the Ginger Magician, and the Langers Ball, previewing some music from Saturday's Burns Night Supper. Of course, I'm part of Nat 21 Adventures, the Dungeons and Dragons show, played with members of the Renaissance Festival community. Every Tuesday night, we have a new episode, starting last night. We had a one-off episode where the entire party died. Everyone died. It was Shakespearean in scope. Wednesdays, we have Painting with Paulo, aka Making It with Mab or May, or Killing It with Kitty, basically whomever is leading that. That's at 12:30 Eastern time. On Sundays, from 5 to 8, we have the Sunday side quests. We kick that off this Sunday with my character, Augustus, going wedding crashing. And then at 8 p.m. Eastern time, the haiku wrap-up with Romulus, aka Roger Awesome of the Lords of Adventure. And of course, come back next week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday for more Shakespeare's Coffee Break. There's a lot of fun going on. So just join us for all the things. And if you've enjoyed the show half as much as I have enjoyed making it, I have obviously enjoyed it twice as much as you do. And that's called maths. And that's whatever you feel the show is worth, a 1, a 5, a 10. For a 50, I will eat haggis, vegetarian haggis, in your front garden, weirdly. And I'll just make awkward eye contact with you the entire time, just like, I'm just not going to blink. It's going to be weird. I mean, buy me a cup of coffee at coffee.com/Shakespeare. That's ko-fi.com/Shakespeare and buy me a cuppa. Become a Patreon at patreon.com/Shakespeare. That's patreon.com/Shakespeare. Tiers start at $3, go all the way up to $30. And it's everybody gets all the rewards right now because money is tight for so many. And we want everyone to get the fun and random. Also, if you're not already following the show, go follow me. You can where's the damn button? There it is. I'm a professional. Go follow the show, Shakespeare's Coffee Break, on Facebook. Go follow me on regular Facebook, Shakespeare Approves. That's the main channel. And then also youtube.com/Shakespeare Approves for all the weirdness. Go like, subscribe, smash the bell, do all the things, because it's weird. And it's the only way I judge my self-worth in life. And as we're ending the show, we have one final member of Haggis Rampant. Pam Brownlee is here. So Pam, before we go, would you like to give everyone a taste of the Scots accent? Giving some Burns recitation real quick. You're on the spot.
Oh, I am. Well, I suppose I can just do a bit of the haggis, the address to the haggis, which means you'll be seeing someone else do it tonight. Should I do
Saturday night?
Saturday night.
Yes. Should I do the part about insulting the French?
Oh, absolutely.
We talked about that, so yes.
Oh, good. Okay. So I'm basically saying that people make a lot of stuff. That people love haggis, and nobody cares about French food, which is the part that I'm at. Is there that, or his French ragout, or olio with star soup, or fricassee what make her spew, with perfect scorn or look down, with sneer and scornful view on sick a dinner? Poor devil, see him o'er his trash, as feckless as a withered rash, his spindle shank, a good whiplash, his neve, a net,
So small.
through bloody flood or field to dash. Oh, how unfit. How's that?
Oh, that was amazing. Bravo. Well done. Oh, goodness gracious. For more of it, come and join us Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central, over with Digital Ren Faire for the Digital Ren Faire Burns Night Supper. You can RSVP at that link that's on your screen right there. It's also in the comments and in the show notes. And, oh, goodness, wrong thing I just showed right there. Yes. Where to go? There it is. Digital. I am a professional, damn it. I swear to God I am. I'm a professional something. Yes. So Digital Ren Faire Burns Night Supper. Use code professionally English to save $3 off your ticket price, or code Haggis in order to give Haggis Rampant credit. That's fine. But that's it for us today. I love you. You love me. There is mutual glorious affection. Thank you so much for joining us here today, friends. Keep it classy, San Diego. Bye-bye.